Carey, and I was Josephine's guardian when we took the veterans to the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. And I took several, but Josephine, of course, was my favorite. And I remember standing with her in front of a wall in the memorial that has stars on it, and each one of the stars stands for dozens of military people that were killed during World War II. And I remember reminding her that because of her and nurses like her, there were far few stars on that wall. And then on the lighter side, we were able to take her to several functions here. We took her to some military balls, we took her to the Navy ball, and during the toast, she proudly shouted out a toast to the Army Nurse Corps. And everybody thought that was wonderful. And then we took her to some VIP receptions, and it was wonderful because the VIPs were all lining up to talk to Josephine. So no matter where she went, she was sort of the star, and all the young nurses and medics liked to have their picture taken with her. My husband has a few more comments.
I'm Star Carey. I was with her when we did the honor flights and with several of the others. First off, a little bit about the symbolism. Maybe you noticed that the soldiers that folded the flag did not have a name tag. They always wear a name tag. And that's because they're not here as people. They're here representing the entire Army. If they had a name tag on, then you would say they're separate. But they're not. They're all a part of us. Yes, that is what she did. She would start off with, and she would say, and several of you have heard this, say this, "I am not a whack." She was an Army Nurse Corps, and she was so proud of being Army Nurse Corps. And I kind of like this. Infantry blue. You know, she probably chose it for that reason. Wonderful lady who had done so many of the things that they talked about. The idea that she ended up, after what she went through as a first lieutenant, shows what the differences were in promotions for men and women. If she'd been a male, she'd been at least a major. Normandy and the Battle of the Bulge and all the other things that she did. But she had lots of stories. When she was at one of the hospitals there was at one of the small hospitals, and this guy was dying, and he wanted a priest. And so she asked around, and there was a priest in the village over but some distance away. So she was going to go over and get him, and the people said, well, put on a steel pot. At the same time, there was an artillery barrage going on. And so she had the closest, the safest place she would be along the wall. Well, she knew that if she got along the wall, then the helmet would be a problem. And so she went without the helmet, and she got the priest. If you were with her towards the end, do you remember what she was doing? She was praying for forgiveness. Mm-hmm. And we all wondered why. What in the world does she have to be forgiven for? And of course the answer is to all the soldiers that she lied to during the war. She would say all of them, the ones that she knew were not going to make it. I'm going to see you later. And she would take down their phone numbers and their addresses. I'm going to come and look you up. There were people that would come out of surgery and they were still stunned by what was going on, didn't even know where they were. And Josephine would say, oh, I'm so glad you're back. Didn't we have fun last night? Yeah, you know, the dancing and the partying and, oh, yeah, I guess I do remember. But it was always being positive and upbeat and taking care of those kids. And so that's why when she was praying for them too. There was something special about it, and I'll end with this, and that is something that we know very distinctive about her, that made her what she has been, and that is the beverage of choice.
That's
This
when
says,
she had money. It's usually the box.
That's right. We used to, when she would be at different places, and some of the places didn't want them to have any sort of refreshment, but Sandy and I found a way that a little bit could be brought in. This is probably the worst wine ever made in America. And I remember I would say to her, Josephine, what are you doing? You can afford a better wine than this. And she said, yeah, but this way fewer people want me to share it with them. We're going to miss her.
5 o'clock, 5 o'clock.